snuffing out the negativity. Everybody not a friend of me. Spread the love, still I move deliberately. Bully face on, but the smile be heavenly. Brooklyn girls, so they love the energy, love sincerity. So I take the liberty to take them on a journey lyrically. Through hallways and alleys, dark days.
Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back to the next chapter where we discuss shades of gray. I am one of your hosts, Minister Kat, aka KittyRose. As you see, once again, I'm by myself. You saw in the announcement that we did a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. I'm not sure where this is going to air, but Melissa will be off for the next month. So we're going to have some guest co-hosts come in, starting once again with our co-host from a couple of weeks, Miss Pippa Hirst. So let's welcome her back, everyone. Let's Skype in Pippa and start this interesting conversation today of the next chapter. Hey, Miss Pippa. How you doing, Mama?
I'm good.
My new white sister, good old reliable Pippa. That's, I guess, the benefits of being homeless. No?
I'm coming to you from all these different places. Yeah.
So everyone, let's welcome, like I said, once again, Miss Pippa Hirst. And today's topic of the week. I'm telling you, Pippa is getting the winners right now because today's topic of the week, let's show that on the screen, guys. The topic of the week. The topic of the week, dun, dun, dun. Now let's see, is can heterosexual men and women be friends? Y'all ready? Let's get it, okay? All right, Pippa, what did you think when I sent you that topic? I'm gonna start with you.
Oh, I mean, my first reaction is that I think I told you, I've been a tomboy my entire life. So I grew up with boys in my neighborhood, shooting hoops, playing ball in the park. So it's just been a very natural thing for me to be friends with the male, with the opposite gender. I mean, there's so many different gender categories now. So, but with men and heterosexual men, yeah. So, go ahead.
Well, let me tell you why I came to this conversation today.
Yes, please.
Because you know that I am in this next chapter of my life, and this next chapter is also understanding of where I'm at and the people I deal with. So currently, you know, I'm in a relationship. Everyone knows that. So he's safe, you know. But I'm in this relationship with an older gentleman. He's about 12 years my senior. So he's not that much older, but he's older in a sense that I'm 48 and he's 60. I say that because I'm setting up where we are also in our lives age-wise.
Yes. Right.
So right now, currently, we've been dating for about a year now. So now we're at the point of our relationship where we are now incorporating our friends. So he's met 3 of my male friends or male very close acquaintances, because that's also a difference. Who's really a friend and maybe someone that you just known your whole life? Because one of the gentlemen was just a guy that I've known literally my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if we're friends, but we're definitely close and cool acquaintances, again, because he's known me my whole life. But let me not digress. Yeah. So anyway,
the dynamics make a big difference.
Right, it does. And so the dynamics makes a difference because the content in the relationship is based on the dynamics of the relationship. So the setup is with this particular gentleman, like I said, I've known him my whole life. Then another male acquaintances I've been hanging out with, but I've been hanging out with as a single woman. So now that I'm in a relationship, he's still someone I like to hang out with. So I let my man hang out with these 2 male gentlemen, but then because once my man saw how they physically look, he saw that they weren't my type. So then he says, well, you didn't introduce me to anyone that you're attracted to. So I said, yes, I did. One of the gentlemen that you met that was my friend the third was someone that I actually had an intimate situation with, but we didn't want anything more than just the curiosity, and now we've generally been able to have a friendship. So I posed a question to him. Could you now introduce me to the women in your life that are so-called your friends? And could we hang out the same way that I hung out with you and my male friends? One, to show you how it can be done, and two, for you to reflect to see, am I really in friendships with these women, or are they waiting to have sex with me? Dun, dun, dun. So that was the premise of why I wanted to discuss this, because I wanted to get the reaction, one, from you as a co-host, and then I wanted to see what the audience thought. So let's check out one of the YouTube videos that I was able to pull, and then we'll dissect that as we continue the conversation on.
People always ask, how do you feel about close friends of the opposite sex when you're in a relationship? How do you feel about that?
So, I'm very skeptical of it. And when I say very skeptical, it depends on the dynamic.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of close friends, a lot of close female friends. Okay. But we don't speak every single day. We don't hang out all the time. Like, it's genuinely like a brother-sister type relationship. It's all love. If I had a girlfriend or I had somebody in my life, they would meet them. Like, and it'd be a very transparent situation. But you got people who have these opposite sex friends and they want to keep them away from their partner. That's red flag number one.
Okay.
All right? Like, if that's your friend, they got to be my friend too. And I'm not saying my friend, like, we got to hang out and talk on the phone, but you better be able to walk in my house and show me respect, say hello, dap me up, whatever. Like, there has to be some kind of rapport there. If there's not, then yes, I do believe that there's something going on there. Why are you hiding this person from your partner? That is an issue. There is something wrong there. So I think, again, it depends on the dynamic. Also, how often do you speak to this person and interact with them? Like, I think it's very dangerous to where we want to, when we hold on so dearly to our friends as our best friends, we neglect making our partner our best friend. And when we lack that with our partner, we hurt the relationship. So the partner has to be best friend number one, all right? Doesn't mean you can't have other good friends, best friends, or whatever, but there has to be a best friend number one. And I guarantee you, if your partner's your best friend, you will naturally gravitate more to them than your friends. But what people are doing is they're using their friends as buffers. And what I mean by that is you in this BS relationship with someone that you don't have a genuine connection with, but you tolerate it because you get what you need from your friends. Your best friends fulfill you emotionally to where you can deal with your BS relationship. You're using them as a cover up. You may not be maliciously, consciously doing that, but subconsciously, that is what's happening. Because I guarantee you, remove those friends, you will not last in your relationship another few days. Because now their weaknesses, their flaws, their things that irk you are going to be magnified. But you can ignore that when you can run to your friend, run to your friend, run to your friend. It is a form of detachment from your relationship. So in that case, it is unhealthy.
So there were three things that set out to me. What are some things that set out to you?
I mean, the main thing that stood out to me was the partner and the best friend combination. And if your partner is not going to be the best friend, you know, at least for me, that's important to me as well.
Okay.
So
what stood out to me was, and I love the fact, because since we didn't get a man to actually come on today's show, this video, having men talk, gave a little small snippet of a man's point of view. So I definitely agreed with the dynamics. That's why I gave you the setup to my situation, because the dynamics does play a part. So when he said that, one, the dynamics plays a part, then two, meeting the friend. So I told my beau that. I was like, if you happen to be out, you know what I'm saying, I don't have to hang out with y'all, but if you can't, when you drop her off or she drops you off, if I can't come to the door and stick out my head and say what's good, there's a problem, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the third point was keeping them away. So if you're keeping them away, why are you hiding this friend? What's suspicious? Because even if there's nothing suspicious, now do you create some type of thought of something suspicious, like fishy behavior? So are you setting almost up you know, trying to be protective because you may not speak to that person that often, or you do speak to them often. You know, are you setting up a situation where you can create problems where there is no problems? Or like I said to my beau, are your female friends, just like, I'm a sidebar with the dudes, but are your female friends really just waiting, like they're in the cut, waiting to get the opportunity to fuck you because they're attracted to you? Because he said that to me after we went out with my friends. He was like, I could see, though, that they like you. I could see the way they look at you. Like, I'm oblivious to this, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he, as a man, is like, oh, I could see.
Yeah.
But would you really see that if I didn't bring it up? You know what I'm saying? Would you have saw that they might have been attracted to? But even in them being attracted to me, am I giving them opportunity to cross that line if I'm always talking about my dude and bringing my dude around?
Right. I mean, there's there's a level of trust that has to be a part of the relationship that you're in, so that you know, when you're out with these people, even if there is some sort of attraction there on the other person's part, you're, you know, I'm in a relationship. There's enough respect there and enough, you know, the connection with your partner is strong enough that even if this other person makes an advance or leads you to believe there's an attraction, you wouldn't entertain it because you just wouldn't. That's the whole point of being in a relationship. I mean, we're always going to run into people that we're attracted to.
How about that?
Male, female, it doesn't matter what the dynamic is, heterosexual, gay, whatever. It's a matter of where you're at in the partnership that you're in and in yourself.
Exactly. Where you at with, because if you kind of move shifty, then you're gonna move shifty, not in just in that element. You're gonna move shifty. So you have to, in my opinion, let that whole kind of behavior off. And even if there is something, you are in control of how you want to maintain these relationships. So for me, like if I know that certain men are attracted to me and we've known each other 20, 30 years, and now you want to hang out, a part of me is like, okay, let me hang out because you're just my friend. But a part of me now responsibly is like, should I really do this? You know what I'm saying? I think he might like me. You know what I'm saying? He might just be curious. Should I just go out because we're friends? Or should I be like, maybe I need to put that at a pause just so I don't put myself in an uncomfortable situation where I might have to deal with a conversation I don't even want to have because I do want to be cordial with this man.
Right. I think it's really very, again, the dynamics are very individual. It depends on the relationship. Like I could relate it to people I've dated in the past. Some of the guys that I was really good friends with, but also dated and then married partners, I've either not been able to continue my friendship with them.
Okay.
Because the partner isn't comfortable with it, and my friend will respect their partner, and that's absolutely fine with me. It's a little bit upsetting because it's like, you're my friend, you know, like, ugh. But if that's, I mean, again, it's the best friend thing, right? Anyway, if that's between them, and I can't get involved in that. But then I've had other people that I've been involved with who have introduced me to their new partners, and I've gone to come out with their new partner and with them and their kids, and you know, and I continue to do so when I get an opportunity. And again, it's like what this guy said, it's not every day, it's not even every year half the time, right? It's the odd time that you connect or send a little message just to check in and say hi, and you know, so again, the dynamics are so different, but I think it's very individual to your own relationship and how
and what's important about it, because it's different in each relationship, the conversation has to be had. We just can't leave it up for assumption, or because I don't want to rock the boat, or I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, then let me not have the conversation. But the conversation is needed so that there is a level of understanding to how that partner is feeling.
Yeah, for me, I have to usually explain to men that I get involved with that I have been a tomboy my entire life. I worked in an office supporting 12 guys for 2.5 years or 2 years. I hung out with them all the time, and it was just me and the boys. So I'm very accustomed to that, right? I've been hanging out with all the guys next door on their porch here in New York. And, you know, one of them came over and saw me surrounded by all these guys, and then, what the heck is happening here? Because I was told specifically that in Black culture, that's not a thing. Like, a woman does not hang out with a group of guys. I don't know if you can speak to that. But if that's not a cool thing, I just had to say, well, that's not how I was brought up, and that's not how I was raised, and that's not what I'm very comfortable, because I said, you're very comfortable. I'm like, of course. I've hung out with guys my whole life.
I wonder if that's a white-black thing also that we kind of get caught. Is it comfortable that you could live that life where maybe Black women are told that men always have an agenda, so you know they can't be trusted? I don't know. Before we dive into that, let's check out some PSAs. We'll be right back, everyone.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How is it? Is it good?
We scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
So again, you know, you being a tomboy and having all of these relationships, even to this day, you know, I don't want to say that it's a cultural thing because I don't know, but I wonder because I don't think we're encouraged as Black women that it's safe to be around a bunch of men, because I hear Black women all the time say, that's why I can't fuck with women, because I can't trust them, and women, la, 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 la. So I have more friends that are dudes than women because women are catty. But to me, are those friendships with these dudes authentic, or are they really just kind of like the women I presented to my man? Are they just waiting in the cut? Like, are these men that are my friends, are they really my friends because I can kick it with them about my dudes, I can kick it with them about the shit with my kids, I can kick it with them, but is that me making sure the relationship is solid, or is that the both of us working towards making sure that the relationship is platonic?
Right. Like, are you suggesting that there's a hidden agenda for these guys?
Am I being naive to think that there isn't an agenda?
Right.
Because even when I wanted to ask you, when you have these male friends, how many are you?
I just had one friend, one of these guys, say he's the wolf of all wolves. So he made it very clear that he had intentions and interests, which I immediately shut down.
Okay.
But I reckon, I mean, it can get very exhausting hanging out with a group of guys as a single woman, because if there are those things happening, it's so frustrating, because sometimes quite often the conversation is incredibly engaging, incredibly interesting, and then all of a sudden they're hitting on you, or they're making some sort of comment, and then you push that away, and you get into the interesting conversation again as two human beings and two adults, and then all of a sudden these wolf of all wolves people do it again,
right?
And you're just
and the same thing happens with women.
Make your own choices.
But the same thing happens with women, and I think that we take that off of, like, we think that women are not wolves. We think that women aren't waiting in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because the women will joke to him, well, if you just act right, I would have give you some. If you my friend, why you talking about you would give him some? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't even be a thought process for you to joke around. Because there's a saying, inside every joke is some truth.
Is something serious. Right.
So when you say if you would act right, I would give you some, does that mean you really fucking want to give him some? So, and even if you do want to give him some, why can't it just be that? I have a friend, we fucked one time and the shit was, oh my God, the shit was amazing. But I don't want to fuck him again. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to date him. I don't even want to, I love the friendship that we are building. The sex part was the curiosity. We did the whole get on a date. You know what I'm saying? We did the whole thing. But it was what it was. We had a good time, and the shit moved on. You know what I'm saying? But how often does that
Are you still
happen?
friends with him now?
Say
You're
it
still
again.
friends with him now? Are you still
I am.
friends
He's actually a mentor of mine, girl. Bye.
Okay. Honestly,
You know what?
sometimes getting that out of the way can make all the difference.
I think so. Well, let's.
You know, if you're in a position to where you're not in a relationship with somebody that you're committed to, and you know, it's a silly thing to say because you're not just going to sleep with everybody to get it out of the way so you can be friends with them of the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're attracted to.
Right. Well, let's see how another part of how all this started. Because I don't know if you remember. Did you see When Harry Met Sally?
I did.
Let's go to that. Go to that, guys.
You realize, of course, that we could never be friends.
Why not?
What I'm saying is, and this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form, is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
That's not true. I have a number of men friends and there is no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You only think you do.
You're saying I'm having sex with these men without my knowledge?
No, what I'm saying is they all want to have sex with you.
They do not.
Do too.
They do not.
Do too.
How do you know?
Because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
So you're saying that a man can be friends with a woman he finds unattractive?
No, you pretty much want to nail him too.
What if they don't want to have sex with you?
Doesn't matter, because the sex thing is already out there, so the friendship is ultimately doomed, and that is the end of the story.
Well, I guess we're not going to be friends then.
Guess not.
I love that so much.
So wait, maybe if you're ugly, but she said not even. And I think me and you look pretty cute, so.
Terrible. It's all about energy, right? It's about energy.
Oh my goodness. But is it really the energy? Because the way that we know it's a TV show, a movie or whatever, is there some validity though that if you find someone attractive, like I'll give you, again, take my own situation. For me, I'm a good-looking woman. Supposedly, I'm a good mother. I'm a good listener. I can hold the conversation. I know how to cook. I got a clean house. I make my own money. So, you know, and same thing for my dude. My dude is a dope-ass looking man, dressed nice, a good listener. All of these, you know, are nice looking. So are you just waiting on the side for your chance? Can you really, without thinking about what's good about this person, can you just say what's good and keep a friendship?
I'd like to think so.
So then what's your Jesus moment then? What's your wrap up? What can we give to our audience? Matter of fact, that should come up. Oh, she put Jesus moment. Good. Yeah, like what's the Jesus moment? Because we've been talking about the different dynamics, but what can we give to our audience as the light bulb that the Holy Spirit gave us and come into a wrap up?
I don't know. I just think it's also very individual, and if you know, it's all a matter of you making choices, and you know, based on what somebody else is presenting to you, and if it's not making you comfortable or it's creating an issue in your relationship with somebody else, then that's when you have to start making some choices. I think that's all I have to say. I mean, and it's also, I wanted to just point out too that our generation is going to be very different here probably than the younger generations in terms of the fluidity of relationships, the understanding that these things are okay in the world, you know.
So that's why this is going to be a part 2. Because there's no way we can just have this conversation in one session. So you guys, you already know what to do. Like, follow, share. We need your effort. This is a community program, a community show. We need your input. What do you think about what we're talking about today? Because we're going to add your input when we have a part 2. I don't know if Pippa's going to be my guest, but I'm going to make that happen so we can just elaborate this. Maybe we'll even get a male perspective. So thank you all. Once again, thank you, Miss Pippa. Thank you from my team. Guys, I know I seem like I'm rushing this, but that means just come back next week. Same time, stay station. I'm your host, Minister Cat. We are the next chapter where we discuss shades of gray. Come back for part 2 about heterosexual relationships. Can they just be friends? Let's get it, y'all.
Love you, Kat.
Bye, Pippa. Bye, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see you next week. Turning 45. As I was reflecting on my life, I remember moments of feeling ashamed. I was doing reckless things, childish, foolish things that I thought, you know, I knew what I was doing, but really didn't. You walk around with this attitude that you know it all, and you really don't. So yes, I'm working and I'm feeling like a fly girl in the music and movies, and I'm meeting all these celebrities, but I felt like I didn't connect. I felt like, you know, this wasn't my life. I didn't know when my next dollar was coming in. I felt lost. So, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you have no money, Shalisa. What can you do? This is what I'm thinking. I'm not really thinking of something that I have to invest in. I'm thinking, what can I do to get a quick dollar, because I ain't got no food in the house. Isaiah needs some Pampers. The bills is coming. I don't know when I'm going to get my next gig. What to do. It's just one night. You could do it. I made $50. No one told me that I had to pay out the security, the DJ. There's a woman in the room that gives you clothes, the mother that you got to pay out. You got to invest in hair, shoes, clothes. But in my mind, I'm thinking, what quick thing I can do so I can make this money and put some food in my refrigerator. $50 was not making it. Man, hallelujah, I could let him go. And one of my favorite all-time movies, Claudine. That scene where the welfare lady comes and visits, but when Claudine finally gets to get off of welfare and Mr. Welfare Man song comes on, I would pray that one day I would be able to say, no more. I'm independent. I got this. So that 2 years came and I'm done. Rent is paid. I don't owe nobody no money. You know, everything is good. Last year, I had to reapply. 45 has brought me a piece of understanding that all of this was a process.
Legendary ciphers got the MCs in the jars. The city never sleeps. Slept from 1 to 5 when COVID hit the block and we had to stay inside. Tough love is all I know, so be gentle with my soul. Learn to navigate winters with no coat. If you never been cold, you never been broke. Hustle 24/7 just to stay afloat. So New York, like dollar pizza in that cold shit. That real life, great from the heart of the city. It's as hard as it gets. This that New York shit. That real life. grip from the heart of the city is as hard as it gets. It's that New York shit, that real life grip from the heart of the city is as hard as it gets.